Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Two ultra-conservative candidates seeking to serve Hopkins County in the Texas Senate and House District 2 are among the recipients of the largest campaign contributions made by Empower Texans. The political PAC, Empower Texans, describes itself as a nonprofit service organization that, through multimedia formats, educate and inspire Texans to exercise effective citizenship using research, reporting, and advocacy. However, Empower Texans is working as a PAC. Empower Texans is acting as a PAC, a political action group made up in 2017 of 190 individuals out of a projected 27 million population in Texas. Yet, much of their over 2 million in contributions came from limited sources. Giving to Empower Texans in 2017 included Tim Dunn, who gave $1,065,000. Ferris Wilks gave $725,000. David Middleton gave $200,000, Kyle Stallings gave $100,000, and Holloway Frost and David Pendry gave $50,000 each. Other contributions were $1,000 or less. Not only has Empower Texans contributed to the local campaigns, but contributing members to Empower Texas have also given individually to the local candidates. State Senate District 2 incumbent Republican Bob Hall has received $150,000 from Empower Texans. That is the largest amount to any local candidate in Texas. State Senate District 2 incumbent Hall will also be receiving money from individuals who are a part of Empower Texans. State Representative District 2 challenger Brian Ch.18 will receive the fifth largest amount at $50,000. In the latest report, Empower Texans is handing out just over $1 million. In fact, Hall is not only receiving the largest amount, but as we said, from individuals. Tim Dunn has contributed $150,000 to the Hall campaign. Ferris Wilks has contributed $125,000 to Hall, the two largest contributors to Empower Texans. Other members of Empower Texans have also contributed to Ch.18's campaign. Some people believe that these contributions, both representatives will be indebted to Empower Texans and a few of the members of the organization. The contributions of Empower Texans and the individuals in the organization make up a substantial body of financial support for the two. Empower Texans seems to have an agenda against public education. Recent letters to each teacher in the state have invited those teachers to be whistleblowers against their administrations regarding campaign ethics. Both Hall and Ch.18 are strong in their announced support of a voucher system, and Hall has expressed his disregard for pre-kindergarten and kindergarten based on his votes in the Texas Senate. Superintendents in West Texas schools said in October of last year that groups like Empower Texans are not empowering the state due to the organization's support of a voucher system and are attacking public schools in that way. Through a generous contribution from Pink Impact breast cancer advocates, future survivors of breast cancer or their dependents will have an opportunity to receive a scholarship to attend Paris Junior College. Helping others is what Sherry Thompson of Pottsboro, Texas had in mind when she created the Pink Impact Breast Cancer Advocates in 2014. As a breast cancer survivor herself, now 7 years cancer-free, she fully understands the plight of those suffering with the disease and their families. Her efforts are a direct response to her own battle with breast cancer. When diagnosed, her children were in high school. Her 4-year battle made Thompson realize just how it could have affected her and her children. Throughout her treatments, then divorced Thompson had her own financial battles regarding resources to help her children receive their university educations. Going forward, Pink Impact, a faith-based organization headquartered in Grayson County, hopes to continue to assist those who suffer with breast cancer or those touched by the disease. Here's Don Julian with sports.
A Wildcats soccer team evened their district record at 1-1 with a 2-0 win at Marshall in overtime Wednesday evening. We get more details from Wildcat soccer coach Nikki Wiggins.
Last night we went to Marshall and it was a hard-fought game. You know, we controlled possession, a lot of passing. We could never find that one goal. And the longer it went, and kind of the more frustrated we kind of got. And it was just one of those deals where they were holding on to that. They were playing a lot of defense, holding on to trying to tie and went into extra time. And we were fortunate to score a goal right before the first half of overtime expired. And then after that, we scored another one right after we kind of started. And it was kind of one of those games where you just got to score. They were just they played really hard. We played hard, and like I said, we had a lot of possession. We just couldn't find a clean opportunity, to have a shot on goal.
You still get your 3 points for winning in overtime, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the overtime, like I told the guys, it's not a tie yet. We're still going to play for the full points, and fortunately, we kept pushing through there. And like I said, some of us are getting kind of a little frustrated, and they stayed the course. And some of those are harder to win, because just like when we play a harder team, if the longer it goes, if the ball didn't go in, the more you thinking, oh my gosh, tonight's not the night. So fortunately, we got the win.
Tell us about the 2 goals. Who scored them for you?
Yes, sir. Jonathan Alvarez, right before the first half of overtime was over, Angel played a through ball to him, and he took a good touch and just hit it right in the back of the net, right in the corner, right around the keeper. So it was nice. And then right after the second half started, like I said, we had possession. I think DJ Abram crossed the ball. One of their defenders kind of headed it out, and Enrique Ariana gathered it, and he cut and shot right in the corner. So it was a nice goal. So it was kind of more relieved than anything. So yeah, it was a good night for us, especially when you get a win.
Yeah, you go all the way to Marshall, like to come back with a win.
Yes, sir.
Now you have Texas High at home on Friday.
Yes, sir. Texas High at home. I know traditionally they're not just real good, but they are competitive. So and just like I told the kids, we got to take care of us. We got to, we just got to figure out how to be more consistent scoring goals. And, sometimes it's a process. Like we talked before the season started, it's going to be by committee. Somebody's going to have to step up and score that one just to help everybody else kind of relax and go from there.
The Lady Cats soccer team is now 2-0 in district play after a dominating 5-0 win over Marshall at Primm Stadium Wednesday evening. The Lady Cats also have 2 shutouts in district play. The Lady Cats got 2 goals and an assist from Melina Zaretta. Here's Lady Cats coach Joel Bailey.
Anytime you can walk away with a win at home, especially after rescheduling because of bad weather, it just sets the tone for the rest of the week.
Didn't fool around much. I think they were less than 4 minutes into the match and scored a goal. Had a good game from Melina Zaretta.
Absolutely. She's her and Gracie are both leading the team with goals this year, and they're both in the mix for leading the district with goals early on in the season. So we've got some pretty good stats. When Melina normally takes over 6 or 7 shots, we end up with the W. So maybe I just need to tell her to shoot, which she can definitely provide the shots.
Yeah, you have me to blame. I told her the other day you miss every shot you don't take.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the golden rule in soccer. If you don't ever take it, you don't ever give yourself an opportunity to score. So.
And Gracie did get a goal on a beautiful assist from Melina.
Absolutely. Just that cross right there at the end of the half, just a beautiful set piece that Melina dumped in perfectly from the corner, and Gracie was just snuck in behind everybody and rebounded it in, got it on frame, and gave it a chance. So would like to see more goals like that, and definitely was not a forced play. Melina played it in beautifully, and Gracie was there just to tap it on in.
I know Erica Lara scored, and the other one I'm trying to struggle to remember.
Well, I did watch the video. I don't want to correct you, but the ball already got in. Joe scored that one directly off the corner kick, and Erica was just there to tap it in just for insurance purposes. But it did sneak in around the post. The goalie probably nudged it over the line, and then Erica finished it off. So credit to go to Joe.
So that's 2 goals for McMillan then.
Correct. Yeah, she scored again in the second half on that set piece. And she had another opportunity, a little mix-up between the players and me on direct and indirect kicks. But the second one, Joe did dump in beautifully over the goalkeeper. It just kept rising, and then it dropped in last second, fooled everybody. So we'll take those as we get them. Set pieces and corner kick goals, or they can be back-breaking, and definitely going forward, hopefully we can take advantage of those plays.
At Texas High now, and who knows us better than Jesus De Leon, and who knows him better than you? Perhaps.
Correct. He was at the game last night. He was off, so probably getting in a little scouting on us. I like our chances. It's always a exciting match. We're very evenly scaled as far as talent. Who has the advantage? Maybe him a little bit. It's at his home field. But I think we're equal to the task, as long as we can jump on them early and possess the ball like what we've been doing here of late, just controlling the ball, controlling the score.
The Miller Grove Hornets continued unbeaten in district play as they outscored Sulphur Bluff 55-46 Tuesday night. The game was close pretty much the whole way. The Hornets led 19-12 after 1 quarter, 25-20 at the half, and only 36-32 after 3 quarters. The Hornets put the game away, outscoring Sulphur Bluff 19-14 in the 4th quarter. Luke Brignan hit 7 3-pointers and led the Hornets with 24 points. Angelo Alcock scored 14. Kobe Robertson and Trayton Andre had 5 points each. Albert Serrano had 4, and Jack McCoy 3. The Hornets are 7-0 in district play, and they're 21-13 for the season. Hornets coach Gary Billingsley said he was proud of his team's defensive effort, especially late in the game. Also in Hopkins County basketball, the North Hopkins Panthers defeated Bowles 45-40 Tuesday night. The Panthers are finished second in district, and they're headed for the playoffs. The Tuesday win was also the 800th in the storied coaching career of Jeff Bell.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Today is the very first day that we're going to be reading the nominations and awarding candy from Walgreens. Here's some of the boxes of candy that's coming to us from Walgreens. And there's 12 boxes total, so 2 nice people per day will be awarded candy, and everybody else will get their nominations read. Okay, here's our first of the nominations, and please do send us, if you like what we're doing here in the Nice People Awards, recognizing just the nice small things that people do that kind of bind our community together, then send us a nomination of somebody nice that you know of. Here's one from Betty Jones. Now, Betty Jones called in. She could not see to write. She has a visual impairment and is now in Wesley House, but she said, could I give this to you by phone? And I said, sure. I took it. So it's about Stacy Pullen. So Stacy Pullen works at Wesley House, and she is in housekeeping. And the nomination and endorsement for Stacy Pullen is that she is so nice and so helpful. She makes living there more pleasant than they thought that it ever would be. It was a big change of life for her to go into assisted living, but there she is. So if you ask Stacy Pullen to do something for you, she will do it. So quickly and so quietly and with a happy smile. And nothing ever shakes her up. She brings joy to people that she works with. She never minds anything you ask her to do. And she always has a happy, helpful attitude. Her mother-in-law is a resident there too. And so she's serving her as well as the rest of them at Wesley House. And Stacy Pullen has some children that she's very proud of. And according to Betty, it's nice to see a good person like her on a daily basis. So the things that Betty can do include listening to the radio, and so she says, please consider Stacy Pullen, employee at Wesley House, for the Nice People Award. She deserves it. So we're going to lay that one aside and continue reading a few more of our nominations that we got in. This one's shorter. It's from Danny Hammond. Danny Hammond says, please put Ina Gore in your list of nominations. She is my sweet mother. She lives for the Lord. She has a wonderful ministry, and she's the best mother that anyone could ever ask for. So please consider her to win. And thank you, Danny, for your nomination of Ina Gore. That also will go right there to the side. And here's one for Jan Jenkins. And I think you're going to like this one because it's kind of humorous. Listen to this. Jan Jenkins, according to her sister Joan, Jan Jenkins is kind. She is everything to everybody. If she knows of someone needing help in some way, even though she has her own struggles, she will stop and help them. If I could count the children that she has kept in the past, there would be a big crowd of them. Jan has kept a lot of preschool children, usually one at a time, for working moms and given their babies the TLC and good food when mom could not, and sometimes for an extended period, 2 or 3 years, as needs be by the family. So Jan has been also keeping children. And she says, when we were young, Jan was the oldest of 7 children. When our mother went to the hospital to have the 7th child, it was early that morning. So at age 13, Jan cooked breakfast and got all of us off to school. Then she washed the iron skillet and put it back on the burner to dry, but she forgot it. And that skillet stayed on the burner all day long. When we got home, it was burning hot, but nothing caught on fire. And we've laughed about that a million times in our family. And so Jan is my sister, and I love her, and I nominate her for the Nice People Award. And so, yes, she is nominated, and thank you to Joan Henry, who called us with that as well. And we'll be doing some more call-in nominations as our time allows here mornings on KSST. Here's one for a lady named Sharon Burnett. Sharon Burnett is a master gardener, and she's been helping the organization as secretary of the Master Gardener. She helps with the plant swap that they do each spring and other things that Sharon Burnett has found her niche in with master gardening. And she volunteers for other interests too, like the kids' wellness camp that the Extension Office puts on as part of 4-H. There's a gardening project in the kids' wellness camp, and Sharon Burnett takes part in that, and other helping involvements. Sharon Burnett is a gardener and has a beautiful backyard that's testimony to her several green thumbs, apparently. She and her husband also have a farm out in the country. So a nomination is in for Sharon Burnett, and that nominated by Brenda Payne. And we need more nominations. We need nominations of the nice people that you know of in our community. We know a lot of nice people, and we know you, but we need this, kind of to come from you and your words. So we're going to choose 2 today. We have 2 boxes of candy that we're going to give away. And in fact, we've already read the nominations that qualify today. Sharon Burnett, for her involvement with Master Gardeners and other voluntary things she does in our community. This one goes to Sharon Burnett. And to Stacy Pullen. Stacy Pullen, who is in housekeeping at Wesley House and spreading sunshine wherever she goes. So Stacy Pullen and Sharon Burnett are winners today on the Nice People Awards. Would you please send us your nomination? These are the ways that you can get it to us by mail, a good old letter, write it by hand or type it if you'd like. P.O. Box 284 is our mailing address here at KSST. Then you can also send it to us on email if that's easy for you. It's very easy for us. We'll print them off and then we'll read them mornings. That is KSST1230@gmail.com for our email address. Or you can send it here, drop it by the radio station in the genuine gold-plated mailbox. Or if we're open, come in and put it on Dolly's desk and it will get into the next day's reading. The program will be over on the 14th, which is Valentine's morning. Excuse me. And so we'll also have an interview that same morning, but we're going to squeeze in time for our final nominations and awards that morning. So Thursday, Friday, then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, and then it's Valentine's Day. We hope you have a blessed one and a very sweet one, and tune in each morning at just about 8:15 for more in the KSST Nice People Awards. We have got several neat letters to share with you and some wonderful candy to give away to two of the nicest people. They're all nice. I mean, I don't even like saying it like that. They're all nice and everyone is deserving, but we just get 12 boxes of candy from Walgreens total, so we have to split those up. So here's one from me. It can't win. I understand that. I just want to put out the word about a couple of the nicest people that I know. They're truly a couple and a wonderful pair they do make. It's Ed and Brenda Payne. You probably know them as well. Ed and Brenda are gardeners and farmers, and they just love the natural science of the earth and growing things and the good things that result from hard work and clean living. They're not either. Well, I think Ed may be from the Brashear area originally, but Brenda came from Ohio. But anyway, they ended up here in Sulphur Springs. Ed does great projects in the woodworking shop. Brenda bakes and starts plants and does a whole lot more. They give me cuttings and produce in season, and they're my friends and compadres. And I just wanted to do a pat on the back over the radio to Ed and Brenda Payne, who ought to be winners of the Nice People Awards, but if the nomination comes from one of our staff here, then they just can't win. Okay, let's see about, they can't win for my nomination. You nominate them, I bet you they might. Here's a group, and they get nominated every year, the volunteers at the Senior Citizen Center and Meal a Day. Now, this is from Karen Weatherman. These are her volunteers, and she's making the nomination. These volunteers work tirelessly by cooking and delivering meals to shut-in seniors who might not otherwise have a hot meal every day. These meals help seniors to be able to stay in their own homes and out of the nursing homes for as long as they can. The volunteer drivers might be the only person they see during the day or even the week. These shut-ins love having someone to talk to and have someone check on them every day. And if one of the volunteers see a problem, we can contact their family or EMS or whoever and let them know about it. The volunteers never complain about the heat, the cold, the wind, the snow, or the rain. They're like Energizer buddies, Karen says. They're always there with smiles and great attitudes. I can't say enough great things about all 80 of them. They're awesome individuals. So Karen Weatherman, director of the Senior Center, where Meal a Day is, nominates her 80 volunteers. Now, that would take a pretty big box of candy, Karen, for all 80 of them to share. Here's one for Benny Potter. Oh, and it's an anonymous nomination. When it's an anonymous nomination, traditionally, they're also not a winner, but we can sure read their letter. I nominate Benny Potter for the Nice People Awards. He's always been a friend and ready to help in a time of need. He's a nice guy all around, and I think he deserves a box of candy. Why, Benny Potter, you are nominated. And, of course, you hear him on the 1230 West show on Saturday mornings and Thursday evenings. Don't forget, now, this evening we will have the 1230 West show, so be listening, 7 o'clock. Here's our Thursday winners. I already picked them out. Sometimes people who are nominated have won before, and even though they're deserving again, we try to just keep it to a one-time win. Here's one about Barbara Sanders, and the nomination is from her boss, Johanna Hicks, at the Extension office. She says, yes, Barbara's my secretary, but she's so much more. Her heart for people is very evident, not only at work, but in the public eye. She does not seek attention, but her actions speak volumes. Here's a list of reasons I'm nominating her. Barbara is a faithful book buddy at Sulphur Springs Elementary School every week. She does not hesitate to take a meal to a friend who's sick or a friend who's had a death in the family. She helps the youth of her church by serving as a cook during summer mission trips to Austin. She generously gives to Compassion International to adopt a child to help with physical and spiritual needs. She goes above and beyond to keep our crazy business office flowing. She loves her grandchildren and has wonderful stories about them. Barbara's mom is a rock in our community, so no wonder that Barbara's following suit. And of course, her husband, Tommy, is a strong foundation. They both love the Lord and exhibit their faith through their actions. So Barbara Sanders, secretary at the Extension office, is a winner of the candy today. And our other winner comes from this nomination for the Nice People Awards. It reads this way: I'd like to nominate my sister, Pat Walker Looney. Pat is as nice as she can be, actually a lot nicer than I am, so says the writer. She's a proud member of the Walker family. We were preachers' kids, and she always looked after Buddy and me when we were kids because she was the oldest. Our dad was J.O. Walker, and besides being a preacher, he worked at Foremost Foods. Pat works currently at... Actually, Pat works constantly, it says. I mean, she has her job at Flippin' Printing, which is a family business. And when I had the flu or when I have to be out with Jim, she keeps everything running at both businesses, hers and mine. She's married to Larry Looney. They have 2 sons, Grant and Lance. Here's what Pat does. She plays the piano at New Shirley Baptist Church every Sunday. She's on the board of directors at Greenview Cemetery Association. Pat also helps all day with the Downtown Business Alliance car show every fall as a volunteer. She sits with our sister-in-law, Peggy Walker, in the hospital in Tyler, traveling back and forth. She keeps her grandchildren on weekends when needed and every chance she gets. And she treats my grandchildren like her own because she loves them too. Pat is a blessing to me and to our staff, and she's wonderful for all she does because she's always laid back, never gets flustered or out of sorts, and no matter what she's called upon to do, she takes it in stride and handles everything perfectly. She is like a rock in our family. I don't know what we would do without her. And we're talking about Pat Looney. She's always been good to me, even though she used a fly swatter on us when we were small. Please consider her for a box of candy and a Nice People Award, and that's signed by Joey Walker Wilson over at Millennium Shopper. Why, I think Pat deserves a box of candy, and so we're going to award one to each Barbara Sanders today and Pat Walker Looney. Now, your job, besides listening here to the Nice People Awards, about 8:15 or so, thereabouts, weekday mornings through next Wednesday, which is Valentine's Day. We'll do it 4 more days, tomorrow and then 3 days next week. That's your job. Listen in. Find out who wins and who's nominated, but please get us your nominations. It's very important that we get new, fresh nominations from you, from the heart. So just write down something simple that these folks do that touch your heart, do some good in the community, make Hopkins County what its reputation has built it to be. And the reputation was built on lots of solid love and neighborly concern, as has been evident in our history and still is today. So when you find these little examples of things being done, jot them down, put them in a nomination. Here's how you get them to us. Email is easy for some. KSST1230@gmail.com, or postal mail if there's still time, P.O. Box 284 here at KSST, or I guess you could fax it if you're near a fax machine. 885-4160. 4160 is our fax number. You can also, at times when we open up phone registration, you can give us a nomination then, which I think we'll go ahead and open that up. With Dolly here now, we can help handle that if you call. 885-6060 if you want to nominate by phone this morning right now. And that's today's installment of the Nice People Awards, and we will be back again tomorrow morning about 8:15. And thanks to Walgreens, our candy sponsor.